In this lesson, guys, I will show you how to create very simple explosion. So first I will click on the sphere and I will hit enter on the keyboard. Okay, and then make sure you are selecting the sphere, and then in the Pyro FX tab click on explosion. Okay, so now I will go to object level and I will zoom out. So here you see I have the sphere and I have a DOP network and I have Pyro import. This Pyro import will import the result from the AutoDOP network, guys, and put the smoke and the fire in this node. So I will go again to object level and let's take a look at the emitter. So I will dive inside. You see here Houdini created this node. Okay, this is the merge node, we don't need that. So here you see the flute source. So if you come to scalar volumes, guys, you see here we have visualize fuel and visualize temperature. So I will click here and then I will hide other object. So in this case I am just seeing what inside the sphere object, so I don't see anything from the object level. So I will dive inside. So now I am showing, so now Houdini will show everything in this container. So here if you turn off the fuel and turn off the temperature, now you see nothing. So this is the fuel. So if you hit play, you see the fuel is moving, okay, inside the sphere. And if you turn the temperature and scroll, and this is the temperature, guys. Okay, so let's check on these two. So in this tab you see here we have the noise. So if you disable the noise, you see we have a volume sphere, which is perfect sphere. So when you enable the noise, this will add a variation to the emitter, and then this will add a variation to the explosion. So, and I will go to velocity volume, and here you see we have visualize velocity. So if you turn it off, nothing happens. The reason is because now we don't have any velocity. So if you go to curl noise and click on add curl noise, now you see the visualization. Okay, so now if you turn it off, you can turn it off and turn it on. So this is the curl noise that will add additional velocity to the explosion. Okay, you can control how strong you want this velocity be, and you can control the swirl size. Okay, and you can control the turbulence too. So let me click here and click on show all objects, and now let me just disable the visualization and let's hit play and see what's happening. So the more you increase the scale of the curl noise, guys, so let me set it to, for example, 5. So this will add more turbulence to the explosion. As you see, it's more turbulent. And if I go to scalar volumes here, and here you can see the turbulence influence. So if you change this value, for example, to 4, this will make the explosion stronger. So anything you change in the emitter, guys, will affect the explosion. So let me set it to 1. Okay, so I will hide the other objects so I can just see the emitter. And here you see we have the pulse duration. So if you increase this value, the noise or the cells will move slower, and if you decrease it, the cells will move faster. Okay, and now I will go again to velocity volumes, and here in the curl noise tab I will decrease the scale to, for example, 1. And then let's see if I go to scalar, and let me just see. Okay, so this in this tab, guys, which is the SDF from geometry. So if you click on minimum distance, and you see here we have empty interior. So if I checked off that, now the volume will be filled, the sphere will be filled with the volume. So this will make the explosion more strong. So I will click on show all objects, and if I click play now, you see we have much stronger explosion. Okay, so I will check the empty minimum distance, and here guys you have the edge location. So if you increase that, you see the emitter getting more bigger. Okay, and if you decrease that, the emitter is getting smaller. So what we can do, we can animate that. So say for example, I will set it to 0 or negative 0.2, and then I will alt and left mouse click to set a key, and then I will go to 10 frame, and I will set it to 1, or let's say 0.7, and then I will hold alt on the keyboard and left mouse click. So now guys, if I click play now, the explosion starting from small to bigger. Okay, so this is how you can control, this is a way of how you can control the explosion. Let's set a ground here. So now the explosion will be collided with the ground. Okay, so you can add more variation to the explosion at the beginning, guys. As you see, it's starting as a sphere, and we have another problem here, that the explosion hits the grid. Okay, you see here the explosion cuts from upper area, so we can fix that by going to AutoDOP.Network, and I will hit L on the keyboard, and in the resize container, guys, I will set the padding to 1. So now if I rewind and hit play again, you see now we fixed that problem. Okay, let me zoom out and see. Okay, so you can add more variation to your explosion by coming to the emitter, and here guys I will click on the sphere, and I will set a mountain to add a variation. Okay, and I will add a transfer node here between the mountain and the sphere, and I will scale it on X, for example 2. Okay, and I will increase the height to 2. So now we have more variation on the emitter. Okay, and I will move it up a little bit. Okay, so that's okay. So I will go to object level, and let's try it again. As you see, we have this box. This is the container, guys. You can turn it off from the viewport by coming to AutoDOP.Network and selecting the smoke object and coming to multi and bounding box. Actually, it's funny where side effects put this checkbox. Okay, so I spent hours until I found out where is that. So you need to have good memory to remember where is the bounding box. Okay, so let's continue. So I will go to object level. Now we don't see the container in the viewport. So if I hit play now, you see we have nice explosion, okay, and nice variation. I think it's a little bit stronger, so I can come to geometry again, and in the in the fluid source, I can control the edge animation by setting the value to 0.4. okay, and alt and left mouse to set the key. And let's see here in the noise, we can decrease the pulse duration to 0.1, and let's see here, and this, guys, this is the turbulence influence. So if I decrease that, so now the explosion will be weaker. Okay, and if you increase that, the explosion will be stronger. Okay, so let's create a play blast and see what we get. Flipbook, and I will set the time slider to 80. Okay, or you can click here and set it to 82. So I will play and let's see the result. Okay, we have nice variation. Let's hit play and see. Okay, so in the next lesson, guys, we'll continue working on the explosion.